Hello YouTube, and welcome to the first actual random review by Singing Wolf. Today we're going to be going over the Pontas II rock climbing shoe, so stay tuned. These are the Pontas II climbing shoes from Evolv. As you can see, they're a mostly flat shoe. They've got a lot of rubber running all the way around the profile of this shoe, high up on the back of the heel, high up on the large toe here, which really helps when you're toe hooking. It helps to pad your toe a little bit, and it helps to give you better grip when you're getting those aggressive toe hooks going on. I say that they're mostly flat because if you look closely, and if the camera will pick it up, it comes up and then it kind of rises just a little bit right in here. Then it drops back down. That little dip causes your big toe to downturn ever so slightly. So it's not a true downturn shoe, but it gives you that little bit more aggression when it comes to when it comes to the toe box. As I said, with the high rubber over the toe, it mostly covers the knuckle of the large toe and of the second toe. Although it gives you a little bit of padding there, it's not terribly stretchy. You're not going to have a lot of flex in there. I mean, yeah, it looks like it just collapses down. But when you've actually got your foot wedged in here, I find that this creates a little bit of a pinch point, but nothing excessive. I think that's mostly due to the fact that I don't climb very often anymore, so my feet become used to regular tennis shoes and street shoes, as opposed to them being accustomed to being crunched into a climbing shoe. Now, some of the other features of these shoes, other than the rubber that wraps around, and when I say that you've got this rubber here, it's sticky. Okay, if you're flagging your foot up against the rock or something like that, your foot's sticking there. It's got, as I said, a mostly flat sole, but it's got a thick rubber for the sole, almost all the way back and all the way up. Fairly thick rubber here in the midsole. This makes these shoes excellent for smearing. Now, when I say thick rubber, and it'll probably be hard to tell here, but right here, if you can see that, is the seam where the sole meets the upper. Okay, that right there is a fairly thick chunk of rubber. They don't wear through very easily. I took these for 2 weeks down to the Red River Gorge in Kentucky. You really can't make it out on camera, but this area here is where I typically stand. I also stand on the outside edge right in here, but right here is where I'm usually standing in these shoes. And they're still thick as can be. Now, right here, I'm starting to get a little bit of a wear spot. It's starting to round here just a little bit. But when you've got really sticky rubber, you're going to wind up with wear. And that's part of the reason why I think that they went with such a thick sole on the front of this, is so that you can wear them for a long time without them wearing through. Now, the first pair of shoes I bought were a pair of Mad Rock Conflicts. They were definitely a downturn toe, but their problem was, and I wore through them in 2 weeks, their problem was they had thick rubber right here, all the way around the edge, right? But here in the center, it was very thin rubber. And I wound up wearing through them right here, just off of the thick rubber spot, right at the ball of my foot. I liked those shoes. They were comfortable. I was able to climb in them well. You can't really get a hold of them anymore. They are on Matarock's website under the clearance section, but they only have sizes like 4 through 7 in men's. Another feature of these shoes is that they have 3-strap closure, all opposing. So you can crank these down onto your foot really well. And you have that adjustment room that, you know, if you've got really high arches like me, you don't tend to hit the middle strap as tight. It makes it really easy to adjust these without, so that they're not pinching into your foot and cutting off circulation and all of that. The upper here, right at the foot, is fairly thick padded. Okay, they're very comfortable shoes. It takes my foot a minute to get used to them again, just because I climb so infrequently that you know, like I said, my feet get used to regular street shoes, and I can't wear these comfortably for long periods of time. But when I went down to Kentucky to the Red, within a couple of days, my feet were used to these. I was able to climb in them all day long. Really able to push on these. Now you also get, here at the back, you get a little bit of a cup right there between your Achilles and your ankle. It's not a terribly aggressive cup. Like the Mad Rock's actually pinched in on you. These they're just there. I mean, they're comfortable. They feel secure. You know, whenever I've thrown heel hooks, I've never felt like my foot was just going to slip out of the shoe. It was always stable. I've actually learned to trust my footing more on these shoes than I did in the Mad Rocks. They're definitely a stickier rubber, and they're just a wonderful shoe to climb in. Now, one of the downfalls to these shoes is that they don't have a lot of stretch. You have a synthetic upper, and synthetic uppers tend to not stretch very much. They might stretch a little, but they don't stretch a whole lot. Another downfall is that they do seem to run about a half a size too small. Now, if you're used to climbing in like the Defy VTRs by Evolv, these will probably feel a lot tighter. But generally speaking, I would absolutely suggest these for, you know, newer climbers. You can find a couple of sizes on Evolv's website right now. They seem to be running out of these. You can find a couple of sizes there. You can find them on Amazon. But if you can get to a climbing store that carries them in stock, I highly, highly recommend you go there, you try them on, you find the size that fits you most comfortably. I might wind up buying another pair of these in 12.5s instead of 12s, just because of how infrequently I climb. I'd rather be able to break my foot in at the 12.5, and then if I'm getting onto something more serious, jump into these and send it. Now, one of the other disadvantages to these shoes also goes back to one of the advantages, and that is the thick sole that these have. Okay, thick soles are great for smearing. They're, you know, especially with this sticky rubber that they've got going on here. But what thick soles are not good for is sensitivity. So you're going to have a difficult time feeling some of those smaller holds. And chances are, if you're going to be climbing on, micro edges, or, anything above like an 11B or an 11C, chances are good that you're not going to be wearing these anyways. You're a far more experienced climber. You're going to be using a more aggressive shoe. But these are good for is low angle climbs, lots of smearing. Newer climbers should look for shoes like these. They help a lot. I've done a lot of climbing in these, and they're excellent. I've had these for probably 2 years now, and I've never, they haven't worn through yet. I'm still, climbing in them. They still got lots of rubber. But there's no reason not to get them. They're aggressive enough to get you up something like an 11B. They're comfortable enough to wear on multi-pitch climbs. They're sticky and flat enough to easily smear with them. I recommend that any new climber gets themselves a pair of these. One of the other things I'd like to talk to you about is the price point. You can find these anywhere from about $70 to $130. $130 is typically what Evolv sells them for. Now the $70 to $130 is the price I found on Amazon. They have a wide range of sizes, but one of the problems, at least that I found when I first got into climbing, is determining how much money do I really want to spend on climbing gear. And the first pair of shoes that I bought were like 30, 40 bucks. They were on sale. They were the Mad Rocks. Yeah, they got me through my trip out to Oregon to Smith Rock, but they blew out in a quarter of the time that I was there. I was there for 2 months. They blew out in 2 weeks. I still climbed in them. I still got up the climbs in them. Wasn't nearly as comfortable as it could have been, but I got the job done. I bought these at full retail price, which is $130, and they've served me very, very well. Like I said, I've had them for about 2 years now, and they're hardly showing signs of wear. So I'm hoping they'll give me another 2 years out of them before I need to start thinking about things like resoles or anything like that. I will put a link in the description for Amazon, where they have the Pontas IIs for sale. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them in the comments section. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you'd like to see more videos like this, I promise, the videography and everything will get better. Right now, the only camera I have is my webcam, so things are coming directly off of that. Once I get some money together, I just started working again. Once I get some money together, I will be picking up an actual camera to shoot these videos with. Sorry I don't have any awesome climbing video footage for you guys, but I haven't actually had an opportunity to get climbing video of myself. Now that wraps up my review of the Pontas IIs from Evolv. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. If you didn't, please hit the dislike button. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. There will be more coming. There'll be some more climbing gear reviews. There'll be a couple of firearms reviews coming up in the near future. There's going to be some cooking DIY projects coming up, hopefully. And tune in for the next one.